excessive. I'm sorry.
So there's been a lot of conversation about VA disability and evaluation changes. Some veterans are asking, will my rating go down? The truth is, it's not going down. I've heard this from many vets asking this question. So, what we're going to talk about tonight is how veterans can benefit from gathering assets, and veterans have an opportunity that a lot of civilians don't. So, I want to open the question up, the floor up to Stacy, since he is a veteran like myself. As a prior service member, what mindset carried over into real estate development?
Um, it's it's that grit, you know. It's that get it done at all costs. Just being able to see things through from start to finish in the army or the military in general. There's no option. The mission's going to happen. You have to see it through from start to finish. And then on top of that, it's just if you ever made it to the operational side of things, you got to see processes and you got to see different people execute different processes. So you had a team structure and you leaned on subject matter experts. So those are the things that I carry.
So, what are the conversations like getting out and then you going into real estate and focusing on that? Because I know you've told me that wasn't why you purchased your first home, but you kind of transitioned there after a while. So, veterans that are listening, was that transition for you?
So it wasn't a direct transition. To be honest, there was a intermediate IT time frame in there. But for me specifically, it was what I was doing on the civilian side was way slower than what I was used to in the army. So it left a lot to be how can you say it, just it left a lot to be filled. It was a lot of, to me, the time just was 8 hours just didn't do enough in a day. You used to waking up, being at first formation for 8 9 years by 5:30, 5:50. So it gave me that edge just to have more time in the day. Get up, do what I got to do. That was related to the real estate side of things before I even saw the 9 to 5 clock. Then once the day was over, depending on the time of the year, I still had plenty of life left because 8 hours, in the military, 8 hours is you did 8 hours by 12,
Yeah.
1300. So, just that grit to be able to push through. And again, it provided good resources. It was great networking too. Once I got out, I ran into a lot of vets that had experience on the real estate side, the construction side. And it's a bond when it's that unspoken when you start talking to someone in their vet, the conversation just goes the direction it needs to go. So there's a few advantages to that transition.
And I don't know if you guys have had your perspective on Donald Trump. So we're going to talk about Donald Trump really quick.
Oh,
I
right
don't know
here.
your perspective on Donald Trump, but from from my interactions with Donald Trump, and I mean like interactions,
Right.
he cares about veterans and the military a lot. I'm just going to say a lot, right? So when the news came out about benefits and evaluations being lowered, I was thinking to myself, that doesn't make sense. But then again, I'm on the other side. I'm not saying I'm a supporter, not saying I'm not a supporter. I'm just saying from my experience with him, he has tried to help veterans more than anyone that I've seen. So
Hmm.
what's your perspective? I'm gonna lead off with Brandi on the lowering of evaluations and taking away benefits from veterans. How would that impact someone getting into real estate if they're a veteran?
Lowering you. First of all, I'm not in the military, so the first one was lowering evaluations. What does that mean?
So a lowering evaluation is like if you are a disabled veteran and you have a 90, and that means you're bringing in a certain amount of money a
Okay.
month. So you're stable. So you can,
Salary ranks.
yeah.
Right.
So you can bring in money. You can invest in real estate. You can invest in the stock market. You could go get a job if you're workable. So I know you're a mentor to a lot of different people that are trying to get into flipping homes.
Sure.
So if someone's, let's just think of it from a civilian aspect, since you were in the military, if someone is bringing in a constant check, think of it like that, and now that check isn't the same, how can that affect them wanting to invest, and what adjustments do they have to make?
Well, I think for any person, specifically definitely veterans, I think there is also a mind shift for anybody that's been in the military, right? Because when you're in the military, they want you to focus on what you're there to do, right? And so they take away what civilians have to think about every day, which is providing for themselves to make a living for themselves, right? I think in the military, their goal is for you not to stress about how you have a make a living. Your goal is to about focus on becoming sharper soldier, whatever in whatever branch you're fighting for. So I think the biggest thing is like any other person is a mind shift, right? Whether you're making $10,000 a month or $5,000 a month, it's what people do with the money that they make, right? And what they believe that they can actually execute no matter how much money they have, right? And then problem solving. I think veterans are would be even more equipped to problem solve, right? Because I know a ton of people that have been in the military, and when people get in the military early on, a lot of them don't make a lot of money, right? They have a lot of incentives for being in the military, but due to the incentives and the availability of what they have, they make do to live a decent life, right? They know how to use their resources, they know how to stretch things out, and I think just that alone is how they can take those skills and come into a real estate investing space and then learn what resources are available for you so that you can invest with other people's money, right? And they also don't mind, they don't have the issue with, I'm going to let this person pay for something for me so I can get further, right? And they don't have to change their mindset around that. So I think there are tons of things that they already are equipped with that help them. But anytime anybody has a decrease in their pay or benefit, they have to overcome thinking that getting to the next place is only about money, because it's not true.
Yeah, and you answered that perfectly, because why I asked is depending on a check or depending on a job, anything that you depend on,
Yep.
when it's lowered or taken away, it's like a mad scramble. So you always have to have a backup.
Yep.
So I'm gonna get to another question for Stacy. Thanks, Brandi, for that answer. When veterans receive disability or steady benefits income, should they think about leveraging it versus being comfortable?
So that's really a complex question. You have there's no one type of veteran. It's not a monolithic type of veteran. There's a very different types of veterans. So I'll say it depends. If if you're fully capable of growing what you have, if you're of good mind, good body, and just good sense, to call for lack of better terms, if you're good, your mental's good, you should absolutely look at any additional source of income as just that, and you should leverage that additional source of income and grow it. But the other side is, if you're not, then you should play. I'm not saying play it safe, but you should save. You should save. Those are the safer things. Save your, go through the Dave Ramsey's method. But pay down your debt. Don't have debt.
Yep.
Save, nest egg. And then once you master those basics, that's when you seek mentorship to go to that next level. So as you're transitioning, I wouldn't recommend, if you weren't of good financial status, or a good financial IQ while you are in to jump out, receive these additional benefits, and go straight into investing because you need the foundation. And again, there's a lot of type of veterans. I've seen super responsible veterans who were squared away when they got out, and they were capable of transitioning straight into corporate and those white collar jobs and the higher level investment strategies. And then I've seen the ones who got out and they became dependent on drugs, alcohol, and the system just to survive day to day.
Yeah.
But either one is capable of getting to the bigger picture, which is stability and just additional sources of income. So at the end of the day, I think the goal should be for all veterans to find something outside of that steady source of uh, benefits. So that's my take. That was long winded, but I couldn't make it any shorter because if I just said yeah, then I'll be lying. Because again, I know some that really need to just focus on the basics. But then I know some who they're far beyond that before they even got out. And those are the ones that should say, you know what? I am fully capable of holding down a solid white collar 9 to 5 job. Anything that I get in addition to that is strictly for leveraging and taking my financial situation to another level.
Yeah, and Brandi, I think you help with that as well. I know you have a financial background, so if a veteran, came to you in your mentorship and they weren't, sorry, I got to pop up, and they weren't able to think through the financial side of investing, you help with that as well, right?
Absolutely. That's my favorite part. I think that having just a basic foundation, financial foundation is critical. I mean, you have to understand before your mind can change. I just believe understanding is what triggers the mind to accept the change that's happening to them. So having a financial roadmap of saying like, look, this is where we are now, but this, some of my students honestly came with like very limited amount of money and they were shocked with what they can do. Now, I don't do that anymore because it's like taxing on me. I have to actually work harder to get them through the process. And it's kind of dangerous because it puts some mental pitfalls in place that I have to do extra work to work people through. Will we make it? Of course, but it takes time away from other students. So I don't do that anymore. And I just don't think that person should labor that much on their first flip. So now I have a different way that I go about people having a limited amount of money in the process it takes for them to move forward. I think that's what it is. Financial foundations being set and having a reasonable amount of liquid to work with when you move into this endeavor, because I think it's important.
My takeaway from what both of you guys are saying, you need to be a functioning, well disciplined veteran to get into real estate investing or anything. Well, I think that goes to anyone. You have to be disciplined, you have to be able to learn quickly,
Yeah.
and you have to be structured when it comes to investing, flipping homes, getting into development. Because at the end of the day, you have to meet timelines, you have to have a budget. And I think what Stacy was referring to when he said white collar and those professional jobs, if they are veterans and they quickly transition over, they quickly learned a new skill or a new craft. And then they excelled at that. So now they can get into real estate, they could get into flipping homes, they could get into other investment opportunities, and they could be successful. Now, I have met some veterans that get out and it take them a long time to get disability benefits. And when they do get it, what do, Stacy? They drink it up. They drink it up, party it up. They do a lot. But then again, you have the other side where they use that money, leverage that money, and then they make more for their family and they live more comfortable than they would if they were just depending on that check or the job check.
Now, hold on. Can I double back on that? I said white collar, but to be honest, I think some of the best real estate investors I've met are actually blue collar. Those are the plumbers, electrician, HVAC, heavy equipment operators, because they know the industry. They know people in the industry. So they're able to literally just step in and catch a stride and just go with it. Versus the white collar guys, they typically have to learn the processes, but they have the financial, they have the systems, the organizational skills to execute the processes. Blue collar guys, we think a little, each side thinks a little differently, but I didn't want to leave my blue collar buddies out of this.
I think Stacy a little biased.
Hey, I've been on both sides. I was IT for years, and now I'm on the blue collar side, and I've seen both sides.
Stacy just told me he just got out the field.
I just came out the
He just got out
field.
the field. Okay, that's funny. Now, veterans at risk, right? We don't want veterans being at risk. We want to educate veterans. We want to make sure that they are successful in anything they do, even if they are structured, blue collar, white collar. We want to make sure that they're successful. And what Brandi does, I think, is different from so many other mentors. And even with that spreadsheet that you have, that you plug the numbers in, I don't know any other mentor that would do that. It's just very innovative. So can you explain how that is, how that goes really? With plugging the numbers in.
Well, I think that math isn't something that most people are strong in, right? I think people they have more strength in language, English. And so what I wanted to eliminate were things that were going to hinder my students from being able to make a short-term decision on a property. And what happens is you don't have a lot of time. And that's the thing about knowledge and wisdom and experience, right? Stacy and I can go to a property and look at it, and we can determine a lot. We don't have to use a calculator. We know, right? We can do basic calculations and know, and we can walk the property and know the cost of the rehab. And that's just experience. We know who we're going to call. We know how much they charge. We know what they can do. We know what we can negotiate. But when a new student comes to me, they don't have any of that. They have none of those experiences. So I had to figure out how to put my experience in a calculation that would be useful, not only for my new students, but I had already been using it for my actual staff, because I needed someone to look for deals for me. And so my staff would look for deals, and I made the calculation for them so they would know, like, I'm not going to look at the deal if it doesn't fit in these numbers. And so I just turned that around and start letting my students use it. And it's such a hard calculation that sometimes they get upset with me because they're like, nothing works in this calculation. I'm like, fantastic. That means when we do it, you're going to win every time. Right? It's a winning calculation. And I'm like, what you need to learn is not so much to force a deal to work, but you need to understand why deals aren't working. And then how do we find the deals that work? Yep. And I would rather them go the hard way than me go the easy way. Let me give you an example. I just had a student call me that paid $20,000 for coaching, and she did a flip, and she bought a flip that I would never let her buy because the numbers didn't make sense on the buy side. And then she didn't have enough money in the calculation to get all the rehab costs covered. And that's one of the benefits of having a lender. And that's why they have a percent of how much they will lend to you, because they're lending it to you. So you are safeguarded. And when my students come with me with cash, I have students that have hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I will not coach a person that will not go through a lender. Why? Because they need to learn that you don't have enough skill to not go through that safeguard. It is required. Not even leaning on me, because me and you could probably do it. But no, I don't even want you to come back with me. I want you to say, you did the calculation, I did the calculation, and the lender did the calculation. Right? And then every single one of my students tell me, I think that's a good idea. That's what we're going to do. You're not going to use your cash. You don't have enough wisdom to use that much cash. And that's okay. Over time, you will.
Hey, you said a mouthful right there.
I've gotten in trouble so many times. I've gotten in trouble, and I know what I'm doing. My lenders push back on me. doing deals and they're like, well, I didn't get that. I mean, I'm arguing with people. So yes, if I need that safeguard, you definitely need that safeguard.
The extra set of eyes is everything sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, I have an extra set of eyes. I call them Stacy 1 and 2. So Stacy, I call Stacy for
Stacy,
anything
what
real
about
estate.
this? I know I'm not saying Stacy stuff.
I remember one day I think it was my hot water. No, what was it? My hot water heater. It was something leaking in my kitchen in one of the rooms. And I was like, Stacey, what is this? Because I'm on the other side. I'm not blue collar. I'm white collar through and through.
And I'm super.
So I was like, Stacey, what is this? He's like, let me see it. And he told me a simple fix. I was like, dang, I wish I would have thought about that. But I don't do it. So
It was the AC, man. It was your condensation line was leaking on your AC. It was backing up. That's what it was.
Ask somebody. Like the fact that you even ask and then you try to do it yourself says a lot about your person. So that's great. Some people are like, I don't know what that is. We're gonna have to call the HVAC people. Some people will be so prideful to even call their friend and tell them that they didn't know something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm a veteran that I take direction very well. Like I'll ask you, Brandi, I ask Stacy.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if it's a stupid question, I'm gonna ask it because I know once I get it, now it's in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to call you again. So if it start leaking again, Stacy, I'm not gonna call you. But if something else start leaking, I'm gonna call you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh man. So going into risk, or not really risk, but financial moves. I want to talk about that. Stacy, what's one financial move you wish you made earlier now that you have all of this experience now?
Okay. So Brandi she touched on something I wish I had known. I wish I had known the ways to better leverage my money early on. Like I've said before, I was a bootstrapper. I've been a bootstrapper. And now that I know what I know, there's people who have went just as far, if not further than me, using less of their own money and capital.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I had built systems around how the bigger people do it. The bigger guys, they rarely use their own money for a whole project. It's usually they'll build out a capital stack. They'll tap into lenders. They'll play the game more strategically versus just hard nosed getting it bootstrapping. That's one. And then the other is I wish I had, and this is what it is, but I wish I had used the Chinese restaurant model when I got into real estate investing. What is that? It's boring. It's basic. It's food. You get what you get. You're not gonna make it fancy. Everything is gonna be the same.
Yep.
And I could have repeated that over and over and over again. I wish I had done that. Think about it. Have all Chinese restaurants are the exact same. All their menus are the exact same.
I got a question because you said Chinese restaurant. Have you guys ever seen a Chinese restaurant commercial?
Never.
No.
But they're everywhere. Like
exactly.
Like marketing, throw it out the window.
I've never seen nail salons either. Not salon. Never seen them have. Never seen a hair store commercial.
No. We got food. Come get it or not.
They only go for necessities. They only go in business for things they know you're gonna have to come and buy.
I know I need that chicken.
Man, come on now.
I need that fried chicken
all day. That fried chicken wing, ain't nobody fried that wing like.
That's not, sometimes I'll be wondering, is that a chicken wing or is it a duck wing? I don't know, because those wings.
It's a good wing. Who cares?
Hey, look, I'm gonna eat it regardless.
I've had duck eggs before, so it's all good. Obviously, we're gonna go for it.
So you feel me when I say I keep it basic, keep it simple, and repeat the process over and over and over again. Don't try to fancy it up. Don't switch it up. Find that niche, find that product, and repeat over and over and over again. Don't change anything. Don't get pretty with it. That's what I wish I did.
I'm pretty sure Brandi does the same thing. But when I'm coaching, people think that I'm going to give them some special sauce. What I teach you is just something that is very repetitive,
Yes.
and it's just going to teach you over and over and over. And the goal is continuously improving. That's it. Just keep getting better. And I always ask, if you get better every 2 weeks, you're going to meet your goal faster than you would, because you're identifying ways to get better.
Yep.
And being an entrepreneur, a lot of people think that it's straightforward. No, it's a lot of trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. And while you're going through those trials and making those errors, you're cutting out things that don't belong. Like, I try this, that doesn't work. Try this, that doesn't work. And then once you see something working, where a lot of people mess up at, they'll get it, and then they'll go away from that Chinese restaurant and they'll go try to open up a steakhouse or something.
No.
Just stick with the Chinese food. It's going to fill you up and it tastes good.
Yeah. Front and back menu. That's it.
All right, let's get into some flipping here. Some flipping questions. Now, I know you haven't been a veteran, Brandi.
Sure.
But I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
What makes veterans uniquely positioned to succeed in flipping homes?
I think I said a lot of it before, but I think that another thing that I didn't mention is sometimes veterans, they retire young, they have time, right? I think that's the biggest benefit for them, is that they can retire really early in their life when they still have a lot more years to work. And one thing about real estate investing, if you have time, you can really make moves. You can get further faster. A lot of times people start as a secondary like side hustle or a secondary job in real estate investing. And so they have to do that, let's say 8 to 5, and then it's their 6 to 9 job is them investing, right? They get off work, they're with their family, but then they take their 2 hours at night to give whatever they can to their business. And you only have so many hours a week you can do that to grow your business. But veterans have a time. When they retire, they're getting paid and they have time, and they have retirement accounts and whatever they built during their career in the military. So I think that time availability with the income is like the biggest advantage that any person investing actually has, outside of someone being a trust fund baby. Like, literally, veterans are like trust fund from the country and their service. Like, there's nothing that you can retire at 32, 33, 35. I mean, tell me, let me know. Only other people doing this are people that are trust fund.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's a good comparison. I never thought about it like that, but
only a civilian could tell you this.
Government trust fund.
I saw a reel the other day when I was on Instagram. This guy said that people tell him, well, you only got that because of the military. He's like, well, yeah, that's why I joined. You can join too. It's a recruiting station right there.
You know what I was going to get for my sacrifice.
Yeah, believe me, it's a sacrifice. But when you get out, it's so much freedom. And then that time aspect that you're talking about, I feel like we live on a different clock, like Stacy said before. Sometimes I'm up and I'm posting something, or in the gym, and I look, and Stacy doing the same thing. It's 3:30 in the morning. Everybody's asleep. We just up. Like, my wife asked me, "Where you going?" I'm going to the gym. Can't sleep.
That edge, man.
Yep.
What else is there to do?
Scary. Like, I feel like I struggled with that forever until like last October, and then something just hit, and I don't know what it was. I've been begging to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, like years, a decade. I'm just super civilian, because I wish I could wake up at 4. I need the time. Like, I need the extra hours of my day. But I recently wake up at 4 now. I mean, my body is up by like 4:30. I'm looking at the ceiling like, all right, let's go do something. Let's get the day started.
A wise man once told me, when you get to my age, our ages, I know I'm the youngest one here, but when you hit 30,
yeah,
you don't take naps.
No.
You go to sleep.
Yes.
Oh man! And actually, the wise man is on the call right now.
Hey.
When the last time y'all took a nap?
Now, so I ain't gonna hold you. I do have what they call that an appetizer. Sometimes I sit on the couch before I go to sleep for the night. I might take a little nap between 7 and 8 or something. And
You
then
tired? That ain't no nap. You really should go to bed
Yeah,
because you're going to bed early. That's what you're doing.
I'll be in bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock though.
yeah, that's not a nap.
That's
It's
not a nap. Like
it's
your body
falling
is
asleep.
going to bed, but you're just on the couch.
All right, let's get back to flipping houses. We can stick on nap time for a long time. And
Right.
kids, if you watch, I know the kids not watching, but take advantage of your naps. You don't get any when you're an adult.
You're gonna miss them when they're gone.
How should a veteran analyze a flip before putting money into it?
I mean, like anyone else, there's nothing different about that. I think that there are additional resources that they can leverage that's different from a civilian. There are veteran loans, veteran-backed loans. There are military-backed loans, and you guys even know more details about that. But there's like 100% loans that they could use, even in commercial space, even in multifamily space. I've seen it. I've helped clients do it because I'm an agent. And so I think that they should not only focus on the opportunities for lending that's available to all people that are investors, but they also should look at the advantage that they have singularly by seeing what the military offers them as well in the lending space.
And that's another big benefit too. Like having a VA loan or other VA benefits on top of the civilian benefits, I'm not going to say double dip because I don't know because I haven't done it yet. But you have so many pots to stick your hand in. And I believe veterans should really take advantage of doing that. And that leads me to TSP. Stacy, you brought this up 2 weeks ago. So can you let everyone know what TSP is? And then we'll get into the conversation of how to use TSP and how you can build wealth through that.
So TSP that's the equivalent of the civilian 401k, thrift savings plan, and it functions similar to the civilian version of 401k. I didn't use it. I contributed to it, but I didn't actively use it while I was in. But I'm pretty sure you could borrow against it, take loans against it while you're still in. After you get out, you can roll it over into self-directed IRAs, checkbook IRAs, and if you invest smart while you're in, you allocate properly, it grows exponentially. I'm talking it grows exponentially because you have to really think about this. Like, really think about this. Will the government allow companies to take money from soldiers and their employees? Probably not. In 2008, 2009, when everything collapsed, any company that the government depended on, the Fords, the Bank of Americas, what did they do? They gave them money and said, no, we can't let you fail. So if properly allocated, the TSP is a great tool for, military service members as well as DoD civilians. But it's a great tool. It's the equivalent of a 401k and can be utilized just like a 401k.
So let's talk about leverage now, going to Brandi. Knowing that information, how can a veteran leverage their TSP and work with you?
I think that something that I am working on now, which I think is going to benefit more people, is understanding the rate of return on your money. Right? I think that I'm not going to say people, I think we all are taught that, like, put your money in 401k or in the stock, right? You're going to make 12% a year, just leave it, right? Let compounding interest, right? Which is great. It's really great though for people that don't have the time to actually actively invest their money themselves, right? And I think the diversification looks like maybe the stock, maybe real estate, maybe owning businesses, right? And that diversification isn't really talked about much when it comes to people having money invested in multiple places. The greatest rate of return is business ownership. That's the greatest rate of return, right? My students are averaging 400% return on their money. That's a crazy return. No one's ever going to tell you can make 400% return on your money in a year. Some people don't even have, my students are putting $5,000. Some people don't even have $10,000 in their 401k account. Some people don't know where their $10,000 in their 401k account is. They don't even know what company it's with. Some people have 18 401k accounts from all the jobs they worked at, and they don't have them rolled over and have no idea what they're making on them, even if they were making 21 or 5 or 10 or 12. I think it's just the lack of management and the lack of stewardship, right? And when you get someone to focus on what do you have and how can you manage it to invest it to make more rate of return on it, right? Each time, you don't think about the whole amount that you have in an account. It's like if the whole account is doing 12%, what if you just took $10,000 and that 10,000 did 400%, right? And then you use that 10 again every year. You made that 110 400%. Now you're compounding that $10,000 over and over again. So I think that is what we have to do better at teaching people. Because then veterans, civilians, it doesn't matter who you are. If you have any money sitting in any type of retirement savings plan account, you can increase your rate of return exponentially.
People in general are fearful of losing money, right? And I heard someone say this: letting money sit is just as bad as losing your money because it depreciates. The longer you let money sit, that could be growing. You're losing the value, like it's going down. So you're putting your money in a savings account and you don't want to touch it. When you do touch it, think about it. You take money out, it's gone. It's gone. You spend that money, it's gone. It's no coming back. But if you invest it and diversify, not only in real estate, but just your life diversification. Think about your business. Say you start a business. And everything leads back to real estate and stocks because of tax breaks.
Yeah, sure.
And it was like the system was put in place for just that. Start a business, invest your money in stocks and real estate, and start another business, grow that, do it again. And I'm speaking on this because I've learned this over the last, I'd say, 5 years, 5 or 6 years. I started a business. I didn't invest it. When you start losing money, it goes away really fast. It's no stopping that knife from falling.
Whew.
But if you have a diversification of your portfolio, real estate, stocks, and your business, when one starts to fall, the other one most likely is picking up. It's crazy how things work the same way.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Even I was gonna say, even in real estate itself, like I'm an investor, I'm a coach, I'm a real estate agent, right? Just all of those things in themselves are all different ways that I make money in the real estate space, right? So like 1 month I might have a whole lot of people enroll as students. 1 month I might have a whole lot of students that finish their houses, right? That I have to sell their houses. 1 month I might have a ton of students that are closing on their houses, right? So every month it's just like I could make crazy money from enrollment, or I could make crazy money from investments. I could do a flip and have to sell it and then make the most. And I will say this, coaching was humbling, and I was called to do this by God because it is easier and there is more money the way I used to live my life. So it is a sacrifice of my life in obedience to God to do this work. as a coach, honestly, because it's much easier for me to make money just flipping houses. Houses don't talk back. You know what I'm saying?
They're not opinionated.
Nope, nope. They don't get emotional. I'm the only thing getting emotional, you know?
Oh man, that's funny. But coaching is a calling. There's
Yeah.
so many other things that you could do. And I know you're in I know you're learning a lot of things like stocks, and you're diversifying yourself, not just portfolio or getting into different businesses. And what I like to tell a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs mainly, is always think scale.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. When you don't scale a business, say you are a service based person, say you went from a job providing a service, now you want to open your business to provide a service for someone but don't want a boss. You
Yeah.
don't understand what that CEO of that company did to get to that CEO spot, or founder, should I say, because CEOs are hired sometimes.
Yeah.
But the innovation part, why is technology so important? So you have finance, you have marketing, you have operations, and you have product or service development in any business.
Yeah.
A lot of people that start businesses don't know that. They only know the service part.
Right.
And that's why you have to diversify, innovate. Diversification is just like innovation in a business.
Yeah.
You grow, you put different departments to develop different product services so your business can be competitive. And in real estate, just like you said, you were an agent, you're a mentor, you stayed under one umbrella, but it's so many different things that you're doing under that umbrella.
Yep.
And Stacy, the same with you. Investor, developer, got a construction company. Like you have to do all of these things to keep moving. And how do those things go?
Stacy was randomly talking to me one night. I don't even know what Stacy was talking about. I had all 9 of my hats on. I still didn't know what Stacy was talking about. I was like, I'm glad whatever this one hat that I don't have, I can't even help you. You tell me what I should think about this topic.
It's an art. It's an art to it. Like I said, I love the process. I love what it offers. So I get deep into it. I get into the codes, went to the Durham County LDO, so Land Development Ordinance meeting yesterday. It was inviting just to be at that level of learning. So yeah.
I think that we should talk about just something random. And I'll just tease the people that watch the show. We should talk about running our businesses. What does that look like, and how do we manage over time? How do we consistently keep up with? Because there's a quote and it says you don't need to worry about like if you are doing as great as your competitors. You need to worry about staying open every year. You need to keep your business going every year. Every year you should be able to say the next year we're going to go again. We're doing it again. Keep the doors open. That's what he said. Just keep the doors open. And so I think that would be a great thing for us to talk about, because you can't manage your business if you can't manage your life.
That's right.
Amen.
That's on the personal side too now. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's funny that you brought that up, because the war room that I'm opening up for entrepreneurs, real estate agents, and small business owners is specifically teaching everyone how to go from idea to the championship, I call it. So you always have a good idea, but the execution between, think about your capacity, your life that you're living, your income, how much your business is bringing in. And the way I teach is coming from beat the last quarter. That's how you keep your business open.
That's it.
You have to beat the last quarter. If you beat the quarter 3 times in a year, it's 4 quarters.
Yep.
Your business should be open, unless you lose it all in that first quarter. That rarely happens. That fourth quarter, that rarely happens. But that's keeping the lights on. That's keeping the doors open going into the next year. But you have to grow off of that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not trying to grow, then you're getting smaller because someone else is growing.
Yes.
And
But
sometimes
that'll be a good topic.
you can't be afraid to invest not enough, because there are times when you kind of plateaued on your capacity, like your intellect, your knowledge, your experience, and you could be coming down to like a time when like your money might be low and like you need to make a move. Like there's something has to change. Like it's just like working out, right? You go to the gym, you go to the gym, you go to the gym, then you just hit that plateau. It's like I didn't been to the gym 100 times. Like I gotta pay someone to help me get the results I want from here, because I don't have the knowledge to get what I want from here with my body, right? And I think that's the part in business that we just don't want to do, or anything new, right? It's like I'm successful, I have a great career, I have a great job, I'm saving money, I have money invested, but like, am I going to have $3 million to retire? Am I going to have enough money so that I can live off of 60,000 a year when I'm 70? Me and my wife are here. Like, if there's no Social Security, is my 401k really going to be able to take care of me? Right? And we don't plan that far out. And if we don't plan that far out, we won't get to that result. Right? And I think that's what has made me just focus on, like, we have to understand the whole picture.
So true. Now I'm gonna get into something fun.
Let's do it. Is it about
This is-
Trump?
No, it's not. I'm gonna leave my boy Trump alone. No. So
really, those views up, boy.
no, Trump. We're gonna stay off Trump tonight. We might be back, but so it's a lot of successful people that came out of the military. I want to know, what branch do you think produced the most successful people? Go ahead, Stacy. I see you shaking your head, but we all know. Go ahead.
What kind of question is that?
Army?
You know, Army leads the way.
No.
Army leads the way.
No, it is. What numbers up? No, it's whoa, dang, Brandi, whoa. It's the Navy. The Navy has the most successful entrepreneurs
Really
out of any branch. Go ahead, chat. Somebody chat GPT.
I will. No worries. I'm hands down. It's the Army, man.
I can't say what, Brandi? I can't say that the Navy would be like, I think the Navy kind of works because you have to work on the ship. I think that's like blue collar manual work. You have to do manual jobs.
That's not all the Navy does.
No. I'm saying I didn't want to white collar the whole Navy. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, there are guys on the Navy ship that do like manual work. You know what I'm saying? In the Navy.
I'm gonna say those guys. No disrespect.
Oh, it's like that.
But those are my brothers. I ain't gonna throw them on the bus. But sometimes when you don't make a certain score on a test, you got to do them. That's really in any branch. I feel like if you don't score high enough, then you got to do the grunt work.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not gonna tell you what chat says, but I'm gonna tell you what I already knew. I'm gonna tell you what I already knew.
No, we want to hear chat. We want to hear the data. We are all data-driven people on this call tonight.
I was gonna spare your feelings, but the chat says United States Army by far the largest branch has produced the highest. What happened?
I said, what you put in?
What had happened when you was asking me?
You want to know the exact question?
Yeah, I want to know the exact question what you put in.
It's very generic, and I wanted to keep it broad because success is just a very broad term. So what I said was, which branch of the military has produced the most millionaires? And I'm telling you.
Go ahead.
I mean,
go ahead, tell me.
By far, it says by far. This is what chat says, not me. By far, the Army. And then it goes on to say why.
What's the largest branch anyway? What's the largest branch? Yeah, so I mean that's hard. It's hard. They got the numbers. It's all about numbers.
They let more people in the Army than they do the Navy.
Okay, but I'll what it does say, it says notable for wealth per capita. The United States Navy, strong pipelines into technicians or techs, engineers, and logistics. The Navy Academy grads heavily represented executive leadership. So I'll give the Navy that.
I think it sounds like the Navy has a strict test.
Well, the test isn't the only thing. Like the what is it, Stacy? So you got to have like I think no, I'm not going to speak on the Army because I wasn't in there. So I originally tried to join the Air Force myself. I know everyone went through the same thing. Went to the door, it was closed. They are never in the office.
I've never met a recruiter for that one.
And then they said, "Oh, you got tattoos? Oh, you can't get in the Air Force anyway."
I talked to the Army.
But the Navy was like, "Oh, we can get you in
the Air Force."
Certain tattoos. I'm covered.
Okay. Yeah.
But they're like, "Well, we could get you in though." And I think every person that joined the Navy that I talked to went to the Air Force door. It was closed, and the Navy person was like, "Hey, what you doing over there? Come on over." But I won't go into the Army or the Marines. So that's me.
Yeah. No Marines for sure. Wow. Are women in the Marines?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
a lot.
I've never seen a woman
women.
wearing a Marine outfit. I haven't seen that.
Okay, so I dug into it a little bit more. The Navy does lead in CEO and executive level. Close second is the Army, though.
Do entrepreneurship.
That's what the question was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about entrepreneurs?
Brandi got my back.
I mean, I can be accurate. You know, I'm like,
She on the Navy side.
Both said Army, but I was like, that's not really the question he asked. So we got to drill down to that.
Okay, so it's the Army. The Army leads in entrepreneurs, basically by pure numbers. But the highest representation of small business ownership by veterans, Army specifically, is construction, real estate investing at number 2, logistics companies, government contracting. Those are the top 4 for Army veterans.
Okay, Army's doing that. What did you look up?
So let's go through it. Let's go through all of them because I want to know top 4 in every branch if we could do that before we end, because I want to know.
That'd be super cool. I think this is also just a good avenue to give veterans ideas about entrepreneurship in general and investing. What are your colleagues investing in, whether they're in service currently or they're veterans, you know?
Ventures for Navy.
I should have maybe went in the military because I've had a trucking company.
That's on the top of Army vets I know.
I've done government contracts. I mean,
okay.
They need to just give me a VA loan.
Honorary VA loan.
Honorary.
So typical business.
Yes, I mean, I'm in there.
So typical businesses for Navy vets are IT, cybersecurity contracts, base operations support contracts, ship maintenance and logistics, construction and infrastructure contracts. So you fell right in line with the Navy.
I'm the stereotype.
Literally, we both are. That's funny. Okay, what about Marines? Probably security. Not nothing wrong, man.
I know.
Okay.
All branches pick on other branches. Just let everyone know. Like veterans, they have a lot to say.
Okay. So Marines, you have construction companies and franchises. But that falls in line with a Marine, construction, it's similar to the Army. And then franchise, they're jarheads. They need somebody to tell them exactly what to do.
All the Marines out there, we care about you, and we're giving you advice about what you can do here.
Yeah, we're going to tell you exactly what to do. Watch this channel.
This is what you should.
Hey, I'm just telling you what chat says. Air Force. Let's see what Air Force is.
The Chair Force.
Okay. Cybersecurity and IT, aerospace, defense technology, and engineering technical consulting. So
Mm.
typical, right in line.
I know somebody that made it into the Space Force. Is that hard?
I would.
I don't know.
Space Force wasn't around when Stacy was in, and it was just coming in when I was in.
It's interesting. So I can tell you, very interesting.
Space Force.
You definitely gonna hit some crazy numbers on that test on the entry. First of all, they were going to the Air Force, so that lets you know they ended up in the Space Force.
Okay, let's rewind because y'all making Army vets sound like we're dumb. I had a 137 GT score first and foremost.
What is a G? What is a GT score?
I don't know what it means, but it's one of the parameters for picking your job. So you know,
That was high. That was high.
Yeah, that's high.
Yeah.
I think like you had to have a 90.
He was in technology. He was IT in the Army. He just go playing dirt now because he a big kid.
Hey, I'd rather be outside.
Yep. That's why I have these windows, because I be inside. So I want to be inside and outside at the same time. This is the only way I feel like I'm outside. I'm inside so much.
Now I'm curious, before we end the call, we got a minute. Space Force. Let's see what they produce. I know they haven't been around that long. Let's see if they produce, I'm not going to say value, because everyone's valuable.
It's hard to do it. I don't know if they've been, how long, 4 years maybe?
Yeah. They don't even have any vets.
That's what I'm saying. Cybersecurity and space defense, data, AI, and aerospace defense consulting.
Dang.
Very high level.
Yeah, Space Force.
The invitation came by me. The invitation was a door knock. They came to the house directly and was like, is your mother here? Because we need to talk to your mother. I was like, yo. Yeah. So it was crazy. And it was just like, we have a whole nother branch we're interested in this kid for. So we just wanted to talk to you and make sure you're good with it, because this is where he's about to go.
I want to know what that ASVAB score was.
Me too.
150. They got a 150 on the ASVAB. It don't even go that high.
Just know this. I think he's done it for maybe a year, maybe or two. And he already got like some crazy secret call codes that they give people when they want them to go into those other spaces. So interesting.
Space Force.
They're like the red phone or some crazy stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you didn't went CIA. You get crazy calls. That's like a freaking genius. It's an underground space force out there in Colorado. I don't know what they got going on out there.
What? That's crazy.
In the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So 50 what?
Mm-hmm.
52 or something.
Now, before we end the call, Brandi, what you have going on right now, and Stacy, you after her, as far as mentorships, challenges, what you want to put out to the world right now?
I have a challenge on March the 16th. I have another 5-day challenge that I'm going to do live. So definitely welcome to come. Last time it was incredible. Every single person that was prepared and qualified to apply for my coaching program, they applied and they all joined my coaching program. So it was a super success the last time. And people that weren't ready at that moment are still in conversation with us saying, preparing, right? They're like, I need to do a few things, but as soon as I get them done, I'm going to come. I think they learned a lot about mindset, about doing deal estimations, deal underwriting, learned a lot about how to leverage finances from private money to lenders to investors, and then also learning how to scale, right? You're not coming here to just do one house. You're coming here to learn how to. And once you have a system, then you can master the system and then grow and grow in capacity. So look forward to everybody. Come hang out with us. It's only $99. You cannot beat that. $99 for 5 days so you can learn how to flip houses. Don't get no better than that.
I'll be there.
Yes.
Dope sauce.
Yeah.
All right, Stacy, what you got going on?
Like I said earlier, I'm getting real boring. Um, I'm niching down. I have a lot of infield lots. I have a lot of property, and it's going to get repetitive. We're getting in. We're going to do a lot of BTRs, and we're going to keep it systematic and repetitive. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. I'm building a wealth building machine. Repetition, predictability, and just streamlining processes. So
And I'm about to be Stacy's student. I'm selling a portfolio right now just so I can stop doing too many things at once. So I'm selling it, and then I'm about to be his student. I'm just gonna go to his little lots, not little, but this lot, and then learn something about building. Yeah, that's where I'm be at.
That's it. Oh, and I'm adding another certification to the portfolio on the construction side. I'll be certified septic installer in a couple weeks. So hey,
I'm gonna get his hands dirty too.
one less thing I gotta call someone for.
I know
Hey,
that's
here we go. Let's get it.
yeah. We might have to talk about that because me and my sister talked about that. I had to pay for that on my land. She was like, "That man didn't do nothing. We need to do that."
Keep it boring. Like it's real simple. People like to overcomplicate these things. The boring jobs, the boring tasks. That's where the money's at. Nobody
Easy
wants to.
stuff. Yep. And that's honestly, that's a good one. I mean, there's so much space there for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
success is boring.
Yeah.
And as for myself, I have the most boring war room. I'm not gonna say that. It's not boring because it's exciting to learn new things, right? So I have a war room, a bi-weekly coaching call that I'm welcoming real estate agents, entrepreneurs, and small business owners that want to scale and implement my framework called the revenue infrastructure. And you also get the business optimization software that I use and other frameworks that I have implemented into billion, trillion dollar businesses, coaching their executives on how to grow and scale by eliminating waste and becoming more efficient. So that's opening Friday, and I'm having a webinar tomorrow, and it's only $1. So a webinar for $1. So you'll find out everything in that webinar.
I'll be there.
All you need is 4 quarters. Do they even have quarters anymore? Do they have quarters?
They do. I still pick them up when I see them on the sidewalk.
I know your daddy was talking about some change in the house. All right. Until next time, guys. Peace.
All right. Y'all have a good one. See y'all later.
See you later. Peace.
Later.